pick your fabric of your choice. I decided to go with these because I thought these looked good together, so this is what I'm going to go with. I'm going to make 2 different kinds, and I think only using 4 yards should be able to make me 2, but we'll see. You're going to need fabric, thread, bobbins, a machine, and pins, as well as your scissors, fabric scissors. So lay your fabric out. Know which side is the back. This is the back side, this is the front side. So lay it out on a table. Without a pattern, you would lay out a t-shirt that you have and kind of just use this as your guideline. Now, I already have an old garment, and so what I'll do is I'll just move this out. If you have a regular t-shirt, what you'll want to do is you'll want to have it kind of increase a little bit by about 1 inch to give it a little bit more angle. So I put on a second sheet. This is the back. So I now have the front and the back. Because they're going to be the both same length and the same size, I'm going to go ahead and cut them together as one. So first we'll put out an old t-shirt. If you have an old garment, you can lay yours. So with my shirt, I'm going to cut about 2 inches away and just keep going straight. Okay, so my pattern is now cut. To make sure that it's completely even, I'm going to fold it in half. So I'm going to fold it to meet each end of each one, and then I'm going to trim the sides because I know it's not 100% even. All right, so now I'm going to use my scissors to cut all the raggedy edges from here to there, and I'm going to place some bobbies throughout this line. So I'm laying down my back piece. You're supposed to iron your fabric, but get your bobbies, pin it. Art, you can't rush art. Art is done when you decide to be done. So even with this garment that we're making, the garment is only done when you decide to be done. Like, you can always add more. Whenever you're done adding, that's when it's done. We're gonna do the other side. And I took off the tablecloth I had under it because you want everything to be flat and seamless. You don't want any bulking. And like I said, you should iron, but I don't follow rules. So this is just a basic garment. I just got 3 different type of ribbon types that I'm going to be working with. If you want, you can get more fancier. In my next video, I'll be making a coat where I'll be getting more fancy and more advanced, but this is just a basic throw over. And so, not getting too fancy with this. I got some nice little glitter ribbon. Another one I thought would look really nice, but I kind of don't like it anymore. And this one. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I'm really bad at getting angles. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to line this shirt up and center it. And then I'm going to use this neck of this shirt as like, you know, the width. and then I'm gonna remove it, and then I'm just gonna use either a piece of paper or my hands. I'm actually gonna just free it because that's just what I do, but I'm gonna make the neckline. And so, because this is the front. So what I'm doing is laying the shirt at the top. And remember, we gave it like some extra space on the sides on purpose. So just remember that when you're lining it up, it might seem like it's a little bit too much. It's like that for a reason. So I'll adjust it. As you see, if you see how I purposely made this thing be the center, that was on purpose, because that way it'll be going down the middle of the outfit. But what I'll do is I'll just put a little pin here. And a little pin right here, just letting me know how wide to make the neck. And from there, I'm just probably going to just dip it down. And actually, I think I'm just going to cut out this whole pattern piece right here, because that's about the length of the neck. So I'm going to follow this around. But if you don't have a pattern like this on your fabric, you can just make the neck how deep or however you want the neck. But I'm gonna just make mine right here. So what I'm doing now is I'm just playing with the placement of my fabric. I'm thinking around the edges and right here before the fringes will come in. That's what I'm thinking for this, as well as having this with a belt. It would just kind of look plain, and so I want to make it a little bit more busier, so I'm going to add more things. Okay, so I had this long piece left of the fabric, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to use it as well as the trim right here for the front part. So I have this. What I'm going to do now, let me just let you guys know, this is an extra step. It's not a necessary step. This is just me being extra for decoration purposes, because I just want my brother-in-law to have a really nice garment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this, and I'm going to make sure it's nice and creased. I'm going to pin it on here with the ribbon. So what we would do now is you would actually iron this down. I'm not going to, because like I told you, I don't like to. So I'm going to use this all the way down here, and I'm going to pin it, and I'll show you what it looks like. So I pinned all of this together, and so what I'm about to do is take this to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew right here, right here. I got me a trim that's very flexible, so when I sew the back piece, I'm going to fold it like this. So I'm gonna do this edge last. So all I'm gonna do right now actually is just sew right here and here, and I'm gonna do this last. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how it looks once it's sewed. So I set up my sewing machine. I made sure to have brown thread to match this brown part right here. And I'm just gonna do a straight line stitch all the way down on the very edge. So what I'll do, I'll lift my footer. I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm lining it up right there. Okay, so now I have sewed this down all the way down. And you pick the same color so that way you really can't see it. So nobody can see it unless they're trying to see it. I do have flash on, so, but it is a straight line all the way down, and that's what we were looking for. So now we're going to sew this, and you want to get some thread that matches this color. You want your thread to match whatever you're sewing on top of. Okay, so this time we're going to take the needles out as we sew, because you don't want to sew over your needles. I mean, unless you got like a really, really fancy sewing machine. But I still wouldn't sew over my needles. Not messing up. I've had this machine for 13 years, fun fact. I'm gonna go ahead on and show you guys. You see, so it's now sewed down. If you zoom in really closely, you can see the thread here and there. This is a little see-through, so we're going to add the back piece to it so it doesn't look tacky. All right, so this is what it's looking like now. At this stage, if you want it to be a pullover, what we would then do is we would add the back lining. So you would get, okay, so I ran out of fabric. I thought 4 yards were going to be enough, but I actually need 8. So I went and got some more fabric, and I'm about to cut this out. So this is actually 2 more pieces. I have one backwards and one forwards. Okay, so I trimmed it, I took it off. So now I have this layer, and this layer. So I have 3 layers. Okay, so in case the wind blows, we don't want to see ugly outer layer. We just want to see this beautiful part and this color right here. So what we're going to do is we are going to put bobbins between this layer and that layer. I have them touching each other from face side. So this side is touching this side, and I'm going to put bobbins all across, and then we're going to sew. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew one side at a time. I got my bobbins and my face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew right around here, and we'll start. Okay, so now the fabric has a front and a back side, and it's seamless on the edges. So I'm gonna go one more time, and I'm gonna go right around here just to make it smooth and more flat. But this is how it's looking so far. Edges are now sewed down. Everything is super flat. I'm just going to cut off this little thing and sew it down flat as well. So I have this, and I'm going to use this around the neckline. It's already pre-folded, but I can open it up and it just fits perfectly around the neck. So it looks a little crazy right now, mostly because you have these little pins lifting it up. But we're going to sew this down around the edge. So now we have a neckline for the front. The front part of our garment is done. Now we just have to do the back part. The back part is pretty easy. We're just going to lay down both halves that we cut out. Pin it up and sew it up. Use the t-shirt again, this side, for the neckline. So we're gonna use this shirt right here to trace out the neckline back here. Going over the edges gives you the front and back, and it gives you that nice, seamless, fray-free edges. Now we just need to attach this to this. This is the inside, or the part that's showing, and this is the part that's showing. So I folded them inside out, and we're going to sew across on both sides. If you can't go straight across, just go ahead on and put your pins down. So I zigzag stitched the neckline. Now the seams are seamless. Just throw away any strayaways. We have a garment with a belt, and this is just a plain simple. This isn't a lot added to it. All I have to do now is put on some fringes. I'm waiting to order some fringes from 12 Gates Fringes, so check them out. They're having a sale. And yeah, this is the final production with minus the fringes.